LaDonna, how are you doing? How's everybody doing? Jason, what's going on, brother? Let's get the live chat going on my other phone so I know how far behind I get. All right. What's going on? What's everybody been up to? Kaylee, how are you doing? I know it feels good to be back. Last week was the first time that I have missed a live stream, I think ever. I don't think I've ever missed a live stream before. If I have, somebody correct me. Corey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? I am feeling a lot better. Probably sounding a lot better too. Warren, how you doing? Oh, Uncle's birthday, that's right. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I knew that somebody would correct me. I have such a short-term memory sometimes. James, how you doing? Mary, how are you? Yeah, I did miss one other live. Okay, Uncle's birth, that's right. It was October. Well, I need some of you guys to keep me in line. I really do need some of you guys to keep me in line. Alex, how's it going? Jason, you definitely remember more about my life than I do. I think after the last, I don't know, probably 3 years, just have a short-term memory when it comes to a lot of stuff. Mary, glad to hear. I'm doing pretty well. I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I'm definitely sounding a lot better. If I have to go off camera for a second, hit the mute button, it just sinuses are still bothering me a little bit. Uh, Ladonna says surviving. Has it been rough? The sickness gave you dementia. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. I don't need dementia. Can you imagine my sarcasm mixed with dementia? That would just be terrible or highly entertaining. Nathan, how you doing? Yeah, I don't remember last Tuesday. I know we didn't go live, but I don't remember last Tuesday or Monday or Sunday or Wednesday. I got sick, sicker than I was as sick as I was when I actually had COVID back in 2020. Do you want I mean, everybody would love to have 500, so of course. I won't show leg for it though. No, I would probably actually show some leg. Um, you got anything to eat that disgusting? No, not really. Vicky, how are you doing? Warren, how to get signature for the beer? Luckily, the customer wasn't a deceased deputy helped carry in the groceries. Wait, what the heck did I miss? Love wins. How are you? Yeah, I don't recommend anybody get what get what I had because it was bad. I don't remember the last time I slept that much, but I slept enough. I'm definitely caught up, and I feel better actually now than I did even the last few months before I got sick. It's weird how getting sick does that. It kinda, like, resets your body. Been raining a lot. Oh, you got our rain because 'cause we've actually had sunshine for the last couple days. It's been a nice nice relief. Yeah, oh, I'm definitely feeling a lot better and back to my very sarcastic self. Jason, yeah, oh, tacos sound really good. Track down what's going on. I kept seeing your name pop up in my notifications along with Money Magic Mike or something. Like, was that person really trying to compare DoorDash, gig work, and over the road truck driving? Like, they were 12. I go to God they were 12 because the only truck that person should be driving is a little Hot Wheels truck. Vicky, I actually broke down and got a haircut. First time I've gotten a haircut since I think September, so that's probably what it is. I just got a haircut. It took it took a lot off, but yeah, love you too, man. Yeah, I saw a couple of the comments. I haven't even responded to those yet. I talked about it a little bit in the video I vlogged today. Like, god dang, yeah, comparing over the road truck driving to gig work, like, does this person know anything about over the road truck driving? Um, I know more about over the road truck driving than any person with Audi CDL probably should. Must have read my comment to start laughing like that. I Jason, that I definitely would not put that past you. Yeah, 1,000 miles, it's like I'm reading Canal says, "Let's fight." You don't wanna fight me. I don't fight fair. Spice has great content. Paprika is really good too. 1,000 miles is different. Yeah, like, as a gig worker, I would not want the regulations that truck drivers have. I mean, it's federally regulated. Like, comparing gig work to over the road truck driving is like comparing apples and avocados. Or as I put it in today's video, it's like an astronaut and a proctologist talking about black holes. Two completely different things. And they used to get better, I think. The irony of him of that comment, if you guys haven't seen it, you can go back and look, but the irony of the person, uh, saying $2 a mile is ridiculous. If you simply go online and look at the average per mile pay of owner operator truck drivers, it's between $1.50 and $2 a mile. So I don't know what to say. Holy crap! Yeah, except that. Dang, Music City. Talked about showing some leg earlier. Wow, thank you so much. Uh, that wow, I really haven't. That, you guys do that kind of stuff, and then I forget how to speak English. Um, Truck drivers make 50K a year too. They do. The average truck driver makes about 50K a year. They're on the road 80 hours a week. They can only drive so many hours in a day before they have to take a break. They have to take so much time off between times that they can drive. Like they're not, and these are like company drivers that are making like 50K a year. They're not. They don't have the expenses of a truck. They don't have to worry about the maintenance. They don't have to worry about the upkeep. Um, it's yeah, you can't compare DoorDash, gig work, and over the road truck driving. You just can't. Am I Scottish? Am I Scottish? Scottish, Irish, German. Yes, Music City. That is absolutely amazing. You just completely made my day. You made my week. I know it's only Tuesday, but you made my week. Now Charlie has to show leg. Left leg or right leg? Mary, yeah, I think I made 50. We did two Spark orders. I made $50. So first one was a $30 run, and the second one was just under 20. Tony, how you doing? Well, thank you, Music City. Yeah, fair warning, there's lots of sarcasm in tomorrow's video. Somebody somebody left the gate open at the insane asylum, and they basically all went to my comment section from yesterday's video. Um, Andrew, how's it going? Had a rough yesterday. Stay positive, man. Cancer is tough, but you can beat it. Yeah, that kind of stuff. You got to stay positive. Your body feeds what your mind tells it to. And if you give up here, no matter what your body does, it ain't. You got to keep fighting, and you got to stay positive, eternally optimistic, no matter what. Jimmy, yes. Fun fact: Australia is the only country to lose an actual war to birds. That is true. It was the Emu War, correct? I told when it comes to certain things, I have a memory of like Fort Knox, but yeah, I think it was the Emu War. What does this guy look like, Stan Laurel? I'll take that as a compliment. Great comic. We didn't bring up all the points, but the comparison is ridiculous. Way to go on Spark. Uh, thanks, Tracktown. Yeah, the points in trying and even being able to compare the two, like I said, the over the road truck driving and gig work, like you really you can't compare the two. Um, you can compare it more so in the sense of like owner operator with gig work, um, because you get paid so much. Out of that, you have your expenses, you have your taxes, all of that. Owner operators, just the owner operators themselves, as truck drivers over the road, they've got taxes they have to take out. They have fees. They have licenses and permits, um, maintenance. For the love of God, maintenance alone. You could probably go get like my car. I can go get four brand new tires on my car for about $550. You might spend four between four and $600 on one steer tire for a semi, and even taking the trailer away, which is why they call it an 18 wheeler. You take eight away, you still have 10. You got 10 wheels on that tractor. You're talking 5, 7 grand just on tires. You got oil changes, you got upkeep. The average car lasts anywhere from 200 to 300,000 miles. The average semi lasts about 750,000 miles. We get to go home every day. Owner operators that are out going coast to coast, they're not home every day. Sometimes they're not home every week. Sometimes maybe once or twice a month. Um, they have a lot more regulations that they have to abide by. They can get pulled over anytime, anywhere, for any reason at all by any DOT across the country to check their logbooks, to do an inspection. We don't have that. I don't see anybody pulling me or you over, inspecting our vehicle to make sure it's up to snuff. In fact, you don't even have to get your vehicle inspected on most of these apps, with the exception of rideshare. Like, I could go on and on and on. Um, I have one of my grandfathers was a truck driver for many, many years. My dad was a truck driver for 20 years. I used to go across the country on over the road with him. I spent time around his boss. Like, I know how the trucking industry works, and you can't compare the 2. Um, but yes, thank you, Music City. I always keep my head up. If you don't, you walk into brick walls. Yes, blonde, blonde in the chat. How are you? Second, Deb. Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't work, and I mean, I work enough in the rain. Um, it does get old after a while. KK got money. How you doing? Appreciate that. How's Tuesday treating you? Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. We got Michael Vick in the chat. What's up? One of your rookie cards. If you want to sign it. Ellen, how are you doing? How behind our chat am I? I'm a little behind. Regulations. Yeah, DOT regulations as far as driving truck. Yeah, we're just talking about somebody tried to compare gig work and uh, truck driving, and why gig workers, they seem to think that it was ridiculous that gig workers would expect to make $1.50 to $2 a mile. Yeah, no, we haven't. It tried to snow yesterday, and it was weird. I was sitting at Walmart and it tried snowing. It was really weird because I looked at my car and it said it was 43 degrees outside. I've never seen it snow being that warm before. Dashing Womble, how are you doing? You and Mrs. Womble. Yeah, weather's crazy. Definitely stay safe. Yeah, I need to drink water. I need to drink a lot more water. Vicky says just wait until gig work is regulated and you can only drive so many hours. Well, Uber and Lyft, at least the rideshare side of it, it is regulated to a point. Um, Uber, Lyft, you can only drive so. I think it's 12 hours. If I remember right, I think it's 12 hours. In like a 24-hour period. So, and I actually ran into that when we went back to Nebraska. Was it back September, October? September, because we drove a Husker football game, and I drove so much that it actually told me you only had like 45 minutes left of drive time. So um, that's already there. It hasn't really reached into food delivery yet, but it's probably only a matter of time. David, what's up? Haven't seen it with other twos. How many people put on video how many hours they're working? Yeah, I really wouldn't be broadcasting how many hours total in a week you're working, because yeah, that's going to feed that's going to give ammo for the government to even local governments can do things. I mean, California is basically its own country on how it regulates everything. Ryan, what's going on, man? How you doing? It's gonna cost me 900 for tires on my car. 900? Where are you getting your tires at? 'Cause I can go down the road and get 4 brand new tires on for under 600. What kind of tires are you getting, man? Eastern European drivers live in truck for a year and retire. Yeah, I met plenty of truck drivers that, especially if you're single, no kids, nothing else going on. There's a lot of people that have gotten into truck driving. They live in their truck 365 days a year. If they want to take a day and go get a hotel room, they'll do that. But they live on the road, so and every time you fill up, you get like you collect free showers at truck stops. That's cool. Free coffee. I don't think anybody really complained about free coffee. It's just an absolutely crazy comparison that somebody tried to make. So You can only work 12 hours straight in California for gig work. Uber, 6 hours. Oh, Womble, somebody's walking around Hy-Vee in shorts. Yeah, it's a little too cold for that. I mean, it was like 36 degrees today, and it's a different kind. Honestly, it's a different kind of cold here, even compared to Midwest, because there's mountains and that, so there's not a lot of wind. So 36 actually feels like 36. But when you come from the Midwest, it says 36, but it's like blowing 20-mile-an-hour winds, and it definitely does not feel like 36. Corey, I know 19 months. 20. You were one of the first. I think we started. When did I start going live? Was it March, April? April or no, it might have been May. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look. It was either April or I think April or May. Somebody getting timed out. Cool. On A, what's going on? Must be state. Must be by state. Arizona, Texas, Illinois. Have to limit your Uber Eats hours. Yeah, I've done over a 12-hour shift straight on DoorDash, and I haven't had an issue. I haven't done that in a long time, but even at that time, I pulled a 13. Yeah, it was well over 12 hours. Never kicked me off. Jason, you're wanting Michelin? Living on a boat would be cool. Yeah, Ryan says just don't tell the boat owner. Vicky, that was in the comments from yesterday's video. That they commented so many times I couldn't keep up or keep keep straight what they were saying. Anytime you bring up tipping, it's guaranteed to get some people really, really riled up. Comments that I haven't responded to. Did they just take down the whole comment? Because I view all. Yeah, it was somebody named Money Making Mikey who they left another comment too. Anybody complaining about not getting tipped is a piece of crap. Well, learn a trade or better job. Tipping is not mandatory. Where did I hear that learn a trade thing? If you don't like it, go learn a trade. Oh well. Goodyear gives 20% discount to dashers. Um, that I hadn't heard. It wouldn't surprise me, but you're my favorite parole officer, says Ryan. You're welcome. 23 here at present. Yeah, it's a little cold. It got down to 20, I think 24 this morning, which I think is actually pretty cold for here. In California, Uber actually has a 12-hour timer. Like Charlie said, it will tell you when you're getting close to 12 hours. Yeah, they probably expanded it to Uber Eats as well. I I've never done that much Uber Eats to get that warning. 48 degrees here and raining. It was 36 and sunny, so I don't know what you'd rather have. I'd personally rather have the 36 and sunny, but that's probably just because it's rained enough. Yeah, Corey, I didn't really realize it's been that long, way before I started my Gig Gab channel. Yeah, I wanna say it was probably April or May. Womble says I did a 30-hour shift a while ago on DoorDash. I don't recommend doing that. I have never done a 30-hour shift, and I definitely don't recommend doing that. You'll reach the point where you're getting mad at why the floor is on the floor. Jason is a paying troll. Luke is almost as trolly as J Twist. That's what Luke said, not me. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Which car? The 1988 Pontiac Firebird I had when I was 18. I still get letters every once in a while about that car. Feel free to join this channel, and you can throw up green signs too. Aaron, what's going on, brother? How you doing? A double in the house. You got my reply to your email, right? I just want to make sure it went through. Right, 30 hours is wild. I'd end up in a ditch after 15 hours. The thing about, ending up in a ditch in the Midwest, though, is everybody else does it. Cauliflower, how are you doing? I'm doing much better. I think I'm sounding much better too. Now if only I could figure out the looking better part, but my name's not Jesus and I'm not a miracle worker. You definitely sound much better. Good. I know the first day that I woke up, I never really say anything in the morning until somebody says something to me or I see somebody. And so I went out into the living room and good morning. I'm like, good morning. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going through puberty again. Really sounded like I was going through puberty again. Um, was the greatest. I wish I would have remembered to record it. I sounded like Mickey Mouse doing a Morgan Freeman impression. It was great. 35 years ago, I once worked 42 hours straight plowing snow for a municipality. God dang, Warren. That, I don't know. How much coffee did you have to drink? Looney Shrooms, what's going on? How you doing? Well, thank you, cauliflower. Every single one of us has something that we're self-conscious about, even if it's just self-conscious with ourselves. Never mind, that's probably why they call it self-conscious. I don't think I've ever worked 42 hours straight. I did work a warehouse job once. That was inventory. When we had to do inventory, that was That was a bloody nightmare. Hey, I'm caught up for now until I go on another rant, and then I'll fall behind again. That's what happens. Yeah, so many comments, so many. I checked the comments of the video yesterday, before, or last night, yesterday's video, last night before I went to bed. Checked them all. Everybody's being polite with each other. Um, everybody's being respectful. Then I woke up this morning and I'm like, did all the trolls wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just like come to my channel? Because it just exploded with dumbassery. I had one person. I had to make sure this person was okay. They posted, "Hey man, your videos are too long. Just some free advice. 5 to 7 minutes is the attention span." Um, it's probably the attention span he gets from his wife. After that, people lose interest. That's why your channel sucks. Like, blink twice if you're okay. If you're being held against your will and forced to watch my videos, let me know. I'll send help. I haven't heard back, so I hope they're okay. California DoorDash has a 12-hour time limit, but there's no timer. They just send you an email letting you know you went over the 12 hours into the. Be careful next time. Right, with rideshare, it's different. Because when I dashed, when I when I did Uber for the football game, I figured out very quickly. There's a hack to it. The timer only goes if you're on if you've accepted a trip. So if you accept, like on regular rideshare, if you accept a request, the moment that you accept that request, that 12-hour timer continues to go down. So, and all I was doing, because it was a football game, the football game let out. So it's basically it's a rat race. You go downtown, you pick somebody up, you leave downtown, you go out into the other part of town, you drop them off, and then you're going right back downtown. Well, if you don't stop new requests, you drop that person off, you accept another ride, you now have to drive all the way back downtown. That timer's ticking the whole time. So what I would do is, as soon as somebody get in my car before I'd even start the trip, I'd pause new requests. Then I'd start the trip, drive them down wherever they were going, drop them off, end it, get back downtown, and then go online, instantly get another ride, timer would start again, hit stop new requests, go drop them off, go back, do it over and over again. So I believe it is 12 active hours. So right, I would I would definitely think twice about just leaving the app on and going accept, drop off. Oh, I already got another order. I'm gonna go pick that up because that timer's continually going. This way, um, you can save some of that time. And see, I go on a tiny little like 1 minute rant, and I'm already behind on chat again. Warren says, I also once worked 108 hours in a single week plowing leaves. Youth is an advantage for those marathon sessions. Yeah, I have a hard time staying awake for more than 24 hours now. And my early 20s, there was once I stayed awake for, I definitely don't recommend it. That may be where I fried my brain, actually. I stayed awake for 64 hours straight. No sleep, nothing. Um, 64 hours, and I actually, when I finally did fall asleep, I fell asleep for about 15 minutes standing up. Luke says, "Here's a tip, get a real job." But what is a real job? Thank you, Mary. Yeah, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the trolls. Every once in a while, they got it. You need to show them some love because apparently they don't get any love. Grind with Nicole, how are you doing? Vicky, yeah, I don't pay a whole lot of attention. When I'm in a feisty mood and people wanna, I don't know, do their do their things, then sometimes I like to have a little fun. It's the sarcasm in me, it's the smart ass in me. Punk Chica Legacy, how are you doing this evening? Hot tea and cough drop in it, just for by what you call old wives' tale. I had tea, I had cough drops. I didn't put the tea in the or the cough drop in the tea, but I'm going to remember that for next time. Um, one thing that actually helped me, part of it was for sleep. Um, I'm not a huge fan of NyQuil, but take a shot of cinnamon, like Sinfire or Fireball or Jim Beam Fire cinnamon whiskey. The whiskey itself, the alcohol seems to like thin the mucus in that, and the cinnamon. You know what happens when you have cinnamon anything? It's just like whoa, everything's on fire. Really cut down on the coughing and let my I was able to get a lot of stuff out easily. Um, Mike, what's going on? Kaylee's back. Kaylee, you still out working? Mad Matt, what's going on? All kinds of celebrities in the house. That Prius was converted into a rice burner, 12 active hours, same as DoorDash. Okay. Probably why we've never. It's probably why I don't think I've ever seen anybody like get timed out on DoorDash because to do 12 active hours, you'd have to work like 3 days straight in some markets. Yeah, I was sitting. I put out on my Snapchat because I was sitting at Walmart earlier doing Spark, and I had my window down, and I hear this metal grinding, vibrating kind of sound, and I look over, and it's another Spark driver in his Prius hybrid Prius, and that thing was like, I'm like, God damn, that sound is coming from a Prius. But that's the only Prius that I've ever heard that you could actually hear coming down the road. And it was just sitting there. Brother-in-law, how's it going? 64 hours must have been unhealthy. Very. I don't recommend it. I was also hitchhiking at the time. Again, also don't recommend that. C-Dub, how are you? How are you? How was the Super Bowl party? People following people around? Usually it's just Luke and Lisa that are following each other around. We got more people now. Missed you too, Kaylee. Missed all you guys. I don't like getting sick. 3 shots of NyQuil for the Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to the Super Bowl. I didn't even pay attention to the score until I think it died down, and then I came home. I was probably beginning of the 3rd quarter, and I walked in. I'm like, "Am I on planet Earth?" I I really thought that it would have been a much closer game than it was. So I did not have the best Super Bowl Sunday, but I know some of you guys did. Ginger, pineapple juice, and turmeric when you're sick. Borderline, I got what did I get? Swanson broth. They've got the little to-go cups now, little microwavable ones. They have a chicken bone broth with ginger and turmeric in there. It was actually really good. I didn't try the pineapple juice though. Pineapple juice, that's actually a good safe word. C-Dub says snowing here, so I took the night off. Only $1 peak. Yeah, what's a dollar gonna do if you end up in a ditch or you get your car stuck? Ooh, I got an extra dollar. Now my car's stuck. Yeah, most of the time, it's not even you. It's not even your driving. It's everybody else's driving. Probably go on around 9:30 or so my time. Don't recommend what? Don't recommend hitchhiking or staying awake for 64 hours straight, or staying awake for 64 hours straight while hitchhiking. I don't recommend either of those. What do I think about the halftime show? I didn't watch it. Cauliflower, I still don't understand how you're old enough to have an 18-year-old, but happy birthday to him. Driving with Spice, I have had so much ginger ale. I actually really like ginger ale. Burners is really good, but you can't get it out here. Shout out to my buddy Joe up at North Fork. Um, he had some Vernors that I got to try, and that was good. It's really good. Father's gaming. Good to see you, Brash. Hope you feel better soon. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm so caught up on sleep. The last 3 days I have not set my alarm, and I woke up. I've been waking up earlier without an alarm than I did before I got sick with an alarm. I don't. I'm telling you, sometimes just getting sick for some reason just like resets your whole body. As far as Super Bowl halftime show, I want to see like Creed back in there. I know Creed did the Thanksgiving show, and that's what everybody knows. But I want to see like Creed do a Super Bowl halftime show, or I don't know, like some like actual like rock band. Year after year after year, it's just rappers. It's like, can we get something else? Can we mix things up a little bit? I mean, the '90s were great for Super Bowl halftime shows. You had, like, Aerosmith and Whitney Houston, and, like, they mixed things up. It was cool. Ellen, yeah, you're not old enough to have an 18-year-old either. Spice has great content, Charlie, she's in Cali. I will I will check out Spice's channel. Michael started my evening at China Walk, 8:25, order ended my day at the China Walk for 8:50. 6 deliveries for 70 bucks. Hey, it is kinda crazy when you start your DoorDash day at one restaurant and then you end it at the same restaurant, but solid day. The snow gotta go, yes. Why did I hitchhike and stay awake for 64 hours? Because I was young and dumb. Like I said, I don't recommend it. You learn a lot about people. Met some cool people. Didn't really meet any weirdos, but it was an experience. It's like backpacking through Europe, except America's a lot bigger. Michael, so glad you got your voice back. Yesterday was interesting delivering. Steven says, I hope you have an amazing day and don't forget, never regret anything that made you smile. Appreciate that, Steven. Lisa, no, I had never had Verner's up until I think probably about 2 months ago when I got to try it. I don't ever remember seeing Verner's in even in Nebraska. We got like Canada Dry and whatever the other one is. Verner's definitely tastes very different than any other ginger ale, but yeah, it's really good. Where is everyone staying when you're all coming to Vegas? Ellen, I haven't. I'll answer your question, but I'll still message you. Um, I apparently have multiple places to stay in Vegas, so I don't know exactly where I'm staying yet. I need to I need to figure that out because I'm just it's like, "Oh, I got a room here," and then I think you offered, and I got, um, family friend that lives in Henderson that's like, "Hey, come down here." I'm like, "Okay." So, like, I have no idea where I'm staying. I think Ryan is apparently parking in Ellen's driveway. Then is it Keelan or Kalen? Because I don't want to. I hate mispronouncing names. Then I have a nephew named Keegan. That's Keegan. So I don't know if it's a hard E sound or a soft E sound. Alex says, Brian, she said I can. Um, I tell you what, you guys get a camper and share. Nickelback was once invited to perform at halftime, but they couldn't get anyone to cover their shit at Applebee's. Oh, I was waiting for a Nickelback joke. Borderline said we got the parade on Friday. Indie Gig Life, I appreciate that. How you doing tonight? Ross, thank you. Meetup says I think China Walk is the most common name for a Chinese place. There's China Walk, yeah. There's Golden Walk. There's how many? Let's go down the rabbit hole. I do this all the time. I think of something or somebody says something like that, I'm like, let's learn something new. Like, oh, Hustler Hollywood is now delivering adult items via DoorDash, by the way, for those who didn't know. DoorDash will get you off. The heck was I looking at? Hey, there's a China Walk in Hillsboro, Oregon. There's a China Walk in Vancouver, Washington. There's a China Walk in Bremerton, Washington. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of walking, and there's a lot. There's a lot of walk in China. Hey, what about police cars? 70 today. Nice. I need to come dash where you're at. David, what's going on? Yes, back in the good old days when the Super Bowl halftime were actually good. I think it was Janet Jackson's little slip up that I think it was since then that it's basically gone downhill. Stay away from walk your dog. They use too much MSG. What was I looking? Oh, Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, like some of the top ones that come up. The Rolling Stones have performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. U2, The Who, Maroon 5, Tom Petty, ZZ Top, Aerosmith, Blink-182, The Foo Fighters, Guns N' Roses. When did the when was the last time we had a good The Who in 2010? Since then, Madonna, Beyonce, Bruno Mars is decent. Then Katy Perry, Coldplay, Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars has made a few appearances. Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake, without Janet Jackson. Um, yeah, just like 2022. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige, and then Kendrick Lamar again 3 years later. Like, do we are all the good artists dying? Is that where we're at? One of the Super Bowl shows, I'm going through the list. One of them that I remember very well because recently seen the movie was The Blues Brothers featuring Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and James Belushi, which also featured James Brown and ZZ Top. That was the Super Bowl show in 1997. That was probably one of the greatest halftime shows. 93 was Michael Jackson, but there's been some good shows. And I think I'm just showing my age here. Schweppes, thank you. I knew I forgot what the other one was. Warren is staying at the Luxor. Mad Matt is staying at the Link. Um, Ryan, you're staying at. Don't tell me. God dang it! No, don't tell me. I will think of it. Okay, tell me. I can't think of it. Ellen says everyone can stay with me. Ellen, you got a mansion? We're gonna be like I don't even know how many of us are gonna be there. Probably. I know there's two others that are going to be there that are not that they watch the videos, but they're not usually in the lives. So there's two there. Um, yeah, we could have like 20 people, 20 25 people total. I'll sleep in the car at a truck stop in Vegas. Jason, you have heard of lot lizards, right? I don't think it's probably very safe to sleep at a truck stop in Vegas in your car. I could be wrong, but Kellen, okay, like Kellen Moore, got it. Todd, appreciate it. How you doing? Oh, there's another there's a Chinese restaurant called Great Walk too. FYI, my son is high function. Oh, of course. Happy birthday, Kellen. Hope you have a good day, man. And Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg was a good show. That actually was. That was like that made me feel like I was in middle school again. Ivan, how you doing? Yeah, I appreciate all of you for having patience with me last week and being sick and all that. It would have been miserable trying to do a live. I was all hopped up on NyQuil and yeah. Nick, what's going on? I, for one, wouldn't mind having Breaking Benjamin. Oh man, Breaking Benjamin. I saw them probably 15 years ago in Omaha with 3 Days Grace and Nickelback. It was a really good show. David, you met ZZ Top in Houston. That's that's awesome. Uh, that would be those guys would be cool to meet. I don't know how many of you know it, but some of you that probably don't know it. The three-man band from Texas. The only person in that band to not have a beard, his last name was Beard. Corn pop. I think somebody's probably looking for you. But I heard you were a bad dude. Uh, sorry, Ryan. Yes, Cosmo. Thank you. I knew it started with a C, but I don't know how many casinos are start with a C in Las Vegas. Michael says Charlie almost spit out my water. Hey, I'm just looking. I'm honestly just looking out for our buddy there. Like when you got a nice looking car like that reddish maroon Toyota Camry and out of state plates. I I'm just saying. I've never been to a truck stop in Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas before, but I would imagine in Sin City they probably have lot lizards there. That's cool. MT. I haven't. Yes, it has been a while. Although last week I was sick, so if you showed up, I'm sorry. Yes, the trip is a tax deduction. We're talking business, so as long as we talk business, it's a write off. The perk about being your own boss. And if you're wondering, if you go to, I should probably start putting it in the video descriptions for now. I put in the community post tab. Was it last? No, I was sick last week. I think before I got sick. It may have been after I got sick. I don't know. I don't remember. Um, I put in the community tab a link to uh, Eventbrite, where I created the event for our meetup. They needed me to put an address. At the time, I remember that Ryan said he was staying at the Cosmos, so I just looked up their address, and that was the address I put in. So, are we necessarily meeting up there? Maybe, but that's the reason why the event has that address. So, just a heads up. Lots of people have birthdays in February. Mine's on the 19th. Well, happy early birthday. Well, their famous birthdays are on the 19th. There are a lot of people. Benicio del Toro, Haley Duff, hey, Jeff Daniels, Millie Bobby Brown. No relation to Bobby Brown. Oh, you got to share a birthday with Roger Goodell, though. I'm sorry, but you get to share it with Smokey Robinson and Tony Iommi and Seal. So I mean, you're born on a good day. You got good company. What's new in that part of the world? Ivan, I'm working on some videos for the second channel. Working on I'm actually working I got a lot of stuff I'm working on. Glad you're good. I think we could always all be better. Dusty Hill is Hank Hill's cousin. Hey, they're bringing back King of the Hill. Adult Bobby. Smell like old goose meat because I didn't wash my hand clothes since I forgot them in the car. Oh, Well, how was hunting season? Well, obviously hunting season is probably good. If you smell like well, if it smells like old goose meat. I appreciate that, and I appreciate $10 super so much. Lady Sky, how are you doing? Friend got a 119 item Aldi order for $20, 12 miles. Oh, Christopher, yeah, no, no. I wouldn't go for $20, I wouldn't walk into Aldi unless it was, like, less than 10 items. I don't like Aldi. Fortunately, in Washington State, there isn't one, so, no, I would yes. Borderline, I agree, that would definitely be an instant decline. Whoa. For me to shop at Aldi for 120 items, I would need a Prozac, probably a Valium, and a minimum of I don't wanna be too greedy here, but I would say probably a minimum of 60 bucks. Mary, yes, I have never been to Vegas. Ivan, be safe out there, make that money. Being manipulative, makes it hard to decline orders. It does. Kinda like dating, though, you still have to have some standards. That's coming from somebody who's been single for 8 years. $63 order? Wow. Cauliflower, I'm so sorry, happy belated birthday. What can I get you for your birthday? Snacky, what's going on? February 4th, happy belated I get sick and I miss everybody's birthday. My god, okay, all these February birthdays. What month were you conceived? Like a long winter or something. I got a lot of January birthdays in my family. Right. Got a bunk bed for you. Oh my god. No sharing bunk beds. February 19th, seal, Prince Andrew. Unfortunately, Roger Goodell. That's yeah, that's what I'm saying. Borderline, have a good night. Congrats on your Eagles. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm also not a Chiefs fan, in all fairness. Um, I was definitely very happy though. Uh, Saquon Barkley's been like one of my favorite running backs to watch, and it was nice to see him finally win a Super Bowl. Warren had to pick up a 60 item at PetSmart, carried out with one hand, bag of live crickets. Those are the 60 item orders that I miss. Yeah, I ran into somebody a while back that was asking me about orders, and they told me they got, like it was like a 60, 70 item PetSmart order, and they're like, "There's no way I'm doing that." I'm like, "They sell crickets." And 99 times out of 100, when you see a 40, 50, 60 item PetSmart order, it's crickets. So, they were a little frustrated because it paid, like it was like 15 bucks for, like, 2 miles or something, but they saw the item count, and they're like, "No." Ryan, your birthday was January 34th? Is that the 5th or 6th Tuesday of the month? Alex, you just got gifted a membership from Mary. Thank you. No, the 99 does not represent my birthday. Snacky, you just turned 59. Are you sure? Tino, what's going on? Am I a Marine? No, I'm not. I have friends that were Marines. I got family that were Marines. Um, I joined the Army. If you're in the military, you know what U.S. Army is backwards. So I can't say some of that on YouTube. David says my dad's birthday is on the 18th, and my older brother is on 1st of February. A lot of February birthdays. Sheesh. You share a good month though. What we got next? Next, wait. Friday is National Singles Awareness Day. Monday is President's Day. There are a few of our founding fathers born in February. Washington's birthday, February 17th. A couple other presidents born in February. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, William Henry Harrison, and Ronald Reagan. Well, George Washington was actually born February 22nd. Abraham was born February 12th. So I think they just said, you know what? Let's meet in the middle. President's Day, the 17th. Yay. Ryan says I was in the Cub Scouts for a year when I was 8. Ryan, I was not. I was not in the Cub Scouts or the Boy Scouts. But I did eat a brownie. If you know the movie, let me know. So, like, for the shortest month, the most people were born. I know, and all those poor people born on leap day. So sad. That's actually my plan. One of my plans for the second channel. I want to go visit all the presidents' graves. Obviously, the ones that are dead. Um, any presidential memorials, presidential homes. Like I love American history. I love history, period. But if I ever quit doing DoorDash, or if I ever quit doing gig work altogether, that's what I'll be doing. Just going from graveyard to home to memorial to home to graveyard. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. I would enjoy it. Hey, our den leader was on business trips all the time. We didn't do squat. Found baseball, never looked back. Scotty, we should all quit and get real jobs. I don't know what a real job is, though. Yeah, I do. It's driving truck over the road. If you knew what they did to the Indians, you would give two shits about presidents. I definitely don't really give a rip about Andrew Jackson, but looking at actual history, and I'm not going to go into all of it, um, it's unfortunately it's not as black and white as that. Were there definitely issues? Yes, but there's a lot more to it. Ryan prefers fake jobs, real money, fake jobs. Just it. Haven't figured out the real part yet. It's kissing butt to people who could care less about you, aka real job. They get the tax deduction and tell you when to eat, sleep, shower. Oh, thank you. I've often described, you know, a W-2 job is just that. Um, you agree to work so many hours a week for so much money, but they tell you when to clock in, when to clock out, when to go to break, how many hours you can get, whether you can get overtime or not, what your time is worth. If you do get overtime, here's another oops. If you get too many hours of overtime, then you actually end up losing money on your paycheck because the tax you get bumped up into a different tax bracket, so they take more taxes out. Like I've personally experienced that in the past. When I worked in a warehouse, we had to do inventory one time, and I had to we had to come in on the weekend. So we worked like 12 days straight. So Saturday and Sunday were straight overtime, the whole thing, straight overtime. Well, it's great if you work like 6 hours of overtime because you know you get that time and a half, and your taxes are about the same. You reach like 20 hours of overtime, you take home about the same amount as you would if you only worked like 6 or 7 hours of overtime. The rest of it just goes right to the government and taxes. So it's like that was my I was young. That was my first experience with working that much overtime, and went, yeah, that wasn't worth it at all. Not doing that again. Jason, you gotta lay off those tacos, man. I've seen two manager of at Panera watching and nagging a new employee. That's why I don't. Yeah, I I've had my fair share of jobs. I worked a lot of jobs, but it, I get I think I went through a lot of jobs because I love learning and I love like new experiences and learning new things and all that. And it's like Okay, now I've learned everything, and there's no room for advancement. There's no room for promotion. There's no room for anything. Um, all right, now I'm bored. Then I go find a different job. Gig work is the longest I've done the same thing, and most of it has to do with the fact that every day is different. Different orders, different problems, different scenery, different customers. You might be like doing the same driving day in and day out, but doesn't really in itself for a while. It doesn't get old. It's bad on the west side of San Antonio. Cheddar Bob. Love talking with the waitresses. I love talking to the Walmart employees when I'm picking up a Spark order and like you pull it like the curbside orders. I talk to all of them. It's like, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Are you having any fun? Is it boring? Are you staying busy? Are your managers annoying you? Um, there's a couple door greeters that, sorry, asset protection, and I saw one of them yesterday, and like every time that I've gone into Walmart, that guy's working, which seems like he works like 7 days a week, like he never gets a day off. And and I joked with him yesterday. It's like because he wanted to, show the phone. At least that's how it is out here. Um, you get the Costco experience without having to pay for the membership. You just get stopped at the door. That's how I tolerate it because I find it utterly annoying to look at everybody's receipt. You're not even looking at my bags or the basket or anything. You're just looking at the receipt. You go, okay, here you go. It's like you're not checking anything. You're not really stopping anything. But uh, I got him to laugh. I'm like, do they ever give you a day off? And he's like, what's a day off? I'm like, well, that's kind of what I thought because I feel like I work almost every day, but that's by choice. You're you're on the clock. But he's cool. He doesn't. There's one door greeter. I don't like dealing with her. Alex, what's going on? Alex and Alex. Um, what's everybody's first job? Mine was at a shotgun range. Greater Houston Gun Club. I started there when I was 14. That gun club is still in existence today. That's cool. My first job. Well, uh, oh, okay. My first like W-2 job was I worked at Dollar General. I was a cashier and I stocked shelves. I was also 16. Small town Nebraska. There wasn't many choices for jobs. Minimum wage is 5.35 an hour. Some days I feel like I'm still making that. Delivering to repeat customers is cool because you build a rapport with them, especially the really nice ones. Uh, and I get along with most anybody. So yeah, I like the repeat customers. Before Dollar General, I I cut grass, I cut lawns, I pulled weeds, I raked leaves. Um, I've basically always been a little entrepreneurial. It's not just Walmart anymore. More places are grading just as bad as like Walmart. I know, and it's ridiculous. The thing is, they did it to themselves. I'm gonna try not to go full rant on that, but they did it to themselves. It's like, well, we have more people stealing since all the self checkouts. Yeah, because maybe you took away the cashiers that were ringing up groceries and bagging them. Almost made it. I made it an hour and a half without coughing or anything. Yeah, maybe if you maybe if you stopped having people ring up their own groceries, because obviously you can't trust them. If you could trust them, there wouldn't be people at the doors checking receipts. Warren says I've had real jobs. I used to keep track of the number of titles I had, but I lost count around 40. But I've only had 9 employers before I had my own business. Jack of all trades, master of all. Yeah, I feel like every job that I had, I took something from. Not stealing, but you gain a skill, you gain an experience. That sets you up for the next one. I've done. See, I worked at Dollar General. Worked at a Casey's gas station twice, actually. What idiots for hiring me twice. Um, um, I was a night auditor at a hotel or motel, 2 different hotels. I did work a stint at Walmart, electronics. Worked in worked in corrections. Worked at KFC. Sold Kirby vacuums. Wasn't good at it. Oh, what else have I done? I waited tables for a while. Sold internet door to door. Worked at a cell phone store for a while. Worked in a factory for a little while. That was my brain could not compute that. I couldn't handle it. Um, that was the most monotonous job ever by far. My brain, my ADHD, I could not handle working in a warehouse. Then I worked at Papa John's. Then I started gig work. I've always done stuff on the side though. But Michael, I would say it counts. Connie, appreciate that. How are you doing tonight? Alex says used to mow lawns, then was a lifeguard till a little blue kid got me fired. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Um, first real W-2 is JC Penney photographer. Nice. I I was going through old pictures the other day, and yeah, I used to have we. I think all of us at some point have had our pictures taken at JC Penney's. If you're over the age of 30, anyway, right? Yeah, I would say probably 30. If you're over the age of 30 or older, you've probably had your picture taken at a JC Penney's at one point in your life. C-Dub says first job was KFC. Man, that was awful. Smell like I know. I got that was a rough job actually. So much grease. You definitely learn how to pick every little last bit of chicken meat off the bone though. Ryan says at 16 worked in fast food as a short order cook at a country club, made chocolate malts for late 49ers coach and Hall of Famer Bill Walsh. Nice. Very rare to see a repeat customer. Mary, some markets definitely. Around here around here, I now granted, Vancouver's a decent sized zone, but I basically only stay in this little corner, which honestly most days works for me. But I've delivered to quite a few repeat customers. I feel like some you get more depending on your zone, you get more repeat customers on grocery orders because there's probably less people doing grocery orders than there are like regular food pickup. Alex, remember when gas was under a buck in the 90s? Bob says, for real, I never thought I'd be making bar tip money. $3 to $4. It's rough. Yeah, when I was well, here's the actually, yeah, it brings up something I was thinking about earlier in the comments. Somebody was saying something about, they're working gig work, used to work, as a server or waiter, waitress, whatever's not politically correct anymore. And if you worked at a restaurant for tips and you didn't make so much, you know, in your shift, at least in Nebraska when I was a server, they had to supplement. The restaurant had to pay you enough to make sure that you actually earned a minimum wage. So I'm not sure if it's like that in every state, if it's a federal thing or what. That I don't know. But at the time there, yeah, if you 213 an hour, just like it is now. But if you didn't average between your hourly and your tips, if it didn't equal to where you averaged, I think it was like 715 an hour, 725. Um, the difference would show up on your paycheck. So that was also back in the day. That was back in the day when you did not claim all of your tips. You claimed enough to make the hourly so that the restaurant didn't have to supplement, which they were fine with, but then you got money that wasn't taxed. Oh, those were the days. Drain the Swamp says no retirement is the worst part, but who needs food at 70? I want When I reach 70, I just want a cabin in the woods. Clint Eastwood, shotgun, get off my lawn kind of thing. Connie says my first job was a car hop at A&W root beer stand. Oh, I miss those. I got to. There's one somewhere around here. Scotty. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that'll be. How was the night auditor job? Always curious about that. Oh my god, the things that I saw. I saw some unique stuff. We had a there was a swimming pool, and if you ever if you've ever in a hotel, and the swimming pool has certain hours that it's open, certain hours, it's closed. People will do things and offer things to get in the pool or get in the hot tub after hours. Use your imagination. Ryan, you delivered bread for Sara Lee for 5 years and worked for Trader Joe's for 21. I knew about the Trader Joe's. I didn't know about Sara Lee. My uncle Mark passed away a few years ago. He's a career delivery for Fran's Bakery. David says I mowed plenty of yards when I was a kid, just walking around the neighborhood with a lawnmower and a gallon of gas, knocked on doors back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, yeah. I had the same people in my neighborhood. Summertime, I would mow their yard. Leaves fell, I would rake up their leaves. If it snowed, they're the first people I'm going to and shoveling their driveways. And yeah, I mean, I've always had that little entrepreneurial bug, always. And well, for years when I was growing up, my dad worked so much. Like he worked a regular 40-hour a week job during the week, and then he'd go do yard work on the side on the weekends. So there were plenty of times that if I wanted to see my dad or spend time with my dad, um, that ended up involving me going and pulling weeds. So, I mean, I got paid for it, but it's I always hear people, retired people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, going, the world's changed so much, and I'm like, well, it probably has in that, in 60, 70, 80 years. But I'm 38. I'm going, holy crap, the world's changed so much in the last like 10 years, 15 years. Some days I would like to be that teenager again and just go mow somebody's yard and make 20 bucks. That'd be a lot of fun. It'd just be fun to mow a yard. Scotty, you did a lot of temp agency jobs before gig work. Well, a lot of temp agency work is a lot like gig work. There's a lot of temp jobs that's just what it was. It was a temporary. Mary, have a good night. Thank you again for gifting Alex the membership. Grew up doing family pics there. My manager took those pics of the awkward family pics that went viral and started. Oh, including the cat one? The infamous cat one. David says, I worked for Walmart Automotive, HEB, Produce, Kroger. Longest running job I had was 13 years at a printing company in Dallas. What kind of printing company? Don't tell me you worked at a Kodak company. Cauliflower says, Ryan, my friend just sent me a screenshot. Trader Joe's was hiring here because she knows I was looking for a second job. Right nowadays, temp agencies can't match the pay gig work does. No, they can't. Um, and oftentimes, I don't know how temp work is everywhere. I would imagine it's probably pretty similar. I knew a few people uh, in Nebraska that went through temp agencies often, and sometimes they went through a lot of temp agencies and a lot of jobs. Uh, at the time, I was basically, 10 years ago, that's all you could get. And it was one of the very few places that sometimes you didn't really need to have to pass a drug test to get a job there. Well, that's kind of gig work now. I was thinking about gas the other day being $1. Old man would have freaked out raising. I'm honestly trying to remember how much gas was when I started driving. I think back then it was so cheap that it didn't matter. Nobody worried about how much gas was. Well, I mean, they did, but they didn't. Not in comparison to like the last 10 years. Well, Dukes, how are you doing? Worked at Stop and Shop for 13 years for sure. I'm a ranch. How's it going? Grand the Swamp says trying to find a woman to move to Michigan and buy us a cabin. I'm trying to do something similar here. Find a cabin in the woods. Although trying to find a woman to do that is kind of like trying to find Bigfoot. David says I still have a regular job doing deliveries for Fastenal. After work, I do DoorDash. I like to get cash in my pockets the same day. Wait on a paycheck every 2 weeks. Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the more alluring things to gig work is like you have money as soon as you complete an order. It's like, oh, I got money. Vicky, back in the day, I worked at a pizza joint for $6 an hour, which was more than minimum wage at the time. As far as my boss was concerned, I didn't get tips. It's one of the best bosses I ever had. I miss those kind of bosses. I think I had one. I had one boss like that. Dan, how's it going? Happy Tuesday to you. Bad Matt says first W-2 wash cars for 435. Nice. Thinking of been here listening. Hey, I do this. I do the same thing. I'll have streams going, and it's like I've had some of your streams going, and I've just been like doing other stuff. I'm listening, but Matt is enjoying some fancy tequila, says Ryan. Love temp agencies, exactly a lot like gig work. Ellen, what the heck did you do to get fired from Jack in the Box? Stu Leonard's. I've never heard of Stu Leonard's. Probably 200 jobs and been fired twice. Yeah, I don't remember. I think I've been fired before. I think I was fired from my serving job actually. Yeah, that one that firing, I took that with pride. That one I actually took with pride. I was working at a obviously a sit down restaurant. This was 2009. Yeah, it was 2009, and I was one of I think two sir. There was two, just me and one other gal. Um, they always had me work until like the bars closed because sometimes people come in and obviously bar downtown's right down the street about a mile, so we're the closest sit down restaurant. So all the drunk people. This is obviously way before gig work, so nobody went home and ordered DoorDash. So all the drunk people would come in, and one night it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday night. A big round table of people came in, and they were they were very handsy. They were very drunk. They were very handsy, and it wasn't my table, but it soon became my table. The the gal that I was working with, she was just absolutely a sweetheart of a person, and she came up and she was asking everybody what they wanted for their drinks, and one of the guys tried reaching up under um, her, tried reaching up between her legs. Yeah, she came over to me and she's like, "Hey, can you help me? Because he's." I'm like, "Yeah." So I came around and she finished taking their drink order, and he tried to reach up under her again, and I let him know to knock it off. Then he wanted to see the manager, and I'm like, I've already talked to the manager at this point and let him know what was going on. The manager refused to do anything about it because the customer's always right. And I told him if he doesn't get them to leave, there's going to be a fight and I'm going to be involved because I don't care if the customer is always right. The customer, is not always right when it comes to grabbing somebody. And the manager refused to do anything and ended up firing me over it. So he lost two servers that night and had to serve himself because after he fired me, she quit. She's like, I'm not putting up with it." So this is the one time I got fired that I'm like, I was okay with. Ellen says I'm listening while washing dishes, also while making dinner. What's for dinner tonight, Ellen? I'm hungry. I'm actually hungry. No, I'm making French toast when we get done here in a few minutes. French toast, bacon, scrambled eggs. Eric, what's going on? Green Swamp says they got fired for helping the waitresses and for not getting the shot. That's double BS. Definitely glad you didn't get the shot though. Alex says, needless to say, I did not take them up on that offer and quit like a month later. Oh, the photography job. Nobody wants to be a manager. You want to be a manager until you become a manager, and you're going, what was I thinking? So good on you. I was an idiot and I became a manager just to realize I didn't want to be a manager. Didn't want to be the employee either. Printing company I work for is called Cart Moody USA. Mostly printed playing cards for casinos. I feel like I have a deck of cards with that name on there. No, maybe not. Those definitely not. Those are my bicycle cards. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I don't mind being. I'm generally a very nice guy, but if I'm being, say, an a hole or whatever, there's a reason why. And if I'm being an a hole towards you, there's probably a reason why. So, Packers fan, how's it going? First $100 night in 2 months. Good for you. I am Packers fan. I am happy for you. Hey, how was your date? You had a date a couple weeks ago. How was it? Yes, I remember. And then last week I was sick, so I couldn't ask you. But how was the date? There were meadows putting honey butter in the cups. Are you? Was that like Texas Roadhouse? Are we talking Texas Roadhouse honey butter? Because that stuff was awful or awesome. I was saying awesome, and then Packers fan commented awful. No, the honey butter's awesome. Apparently, Packers fans' date went awful. Well, I'm sorry it was awful. You weren't catfished or anything, were you? Please tell me that was not the case. I've had that experience, so I'm hoping that didn't happen to you. Wasn't a blind date though, was it? Would have made the date so much better. Online date? Oh, well, hopefully your next date goes better. Started out having Charlie on at the restaurant for dinner. Now I'm almost done with my gym session. Guess Charlie gets around when he's live. I definitely get around for somebody who's been sitting on his butt for the last 2 hours. Come to think of it, that actually just sums up most of my days. Definitely a vegetarian. I, so you still technically have something in common. Your food eats his food, or his food's your food's food. However you want to say it. Ron Swanson just popped into my head. Give me all. the bacon and eggs you have. Wait, I think you may have misheard what I said. I want all the bacon and eggs you have. Picked me up, carried on the conversation the whole night. Dinner was bad. Game we lost. The whole game we said like 20 words to each other. That's the short version. Ugh. Ryan, have a good night, man. Yep, we will see everybody next Tuesday. Guys, I gotta go cook dinner. I gotta go cook breakfast for dinner. Hate having to carry the whole conversation. I know. Um, I have not been on a date in a very long time. I have tried the online dating thing, and anybody I match with, it's like, dude, you want to? I want somebody who can carry on a conversation. You go through other conversations. I'm the last one to comment, and they never they don't respond. It's like online dating is like going to the circus and trying to find the most normal person you can take home. So I give up. Michael, have a good night, man. I gotta go cook. It's easy. French toast, eggs. C Dub, drain the swamp, non A. Oh, non A's having eggs and sausage. That's good. How do you like your eggs? Scrambled? Started talking to this guy the other day, and in 10 days, he had three different red flag. Definitely. All right, guys. I will see you next Tuesday, unless I see you in the comments first. Appreciate everyone. We'll see you later. Over easy. Good way to have them. It's great for toast.